Hi Jimmy, Dan here from Purple Golf Academy. I'm going to have a look at your swing from your recent trip to Neffin and see how your swing is shaping up and developing since the first time we looked at your swing a couple of months ago. So I've got you here on the left hand side at Neffin and your previous swing on the right hand side. And the first thing I just want to look at here, Jimmy, is this area just about here. And I'm sure you realise that hoods on the golf course, not a good look. So my first piece of advice is have a little think about Kugels next time you're playing on the course. Just joking, of course. Now, in all seriousness, looking at your setup. Now, I know we talked last time about how far away you are from the golf ball and a little bit about your grip. Now, it looks like you've definitely made an improvement there. You know, if I look at the line of the forearms and the club shaft here, there's definitely a more distinct angle there, which is good. So the grip definitely looks better. The right hand looks more on top of the shaft. In this previous incarnation, the right hand was definitely more underneath the shaft. So I definitely think your grip has improved, and you're standing a better distance from the ball. So that's all good. And if I take you up to the top of the backswing here, we'll see that the wrist position at the top is much improved in this newer swing. A little bit of a different framery in these two swings here, but let me just get them at the top at the same point here. So you can see here how kind of vertical this right arm is, and it's a very weak looking position, whereas here the right elbow is much more supportive of the shaft, and that grip position is better. Here you can see the way on the old swing the left wrist is very kind of arched in this manner, and the right wrist is kind of folded under, which is not a very strong look, and that club face is kind of pointing to the sky in a shut position. Here you can see much more neutral look with the wrists there, and the club face. Oops, a straight line there. The club face is matching up more to the line of the shaft there, which shows that it's a lot more of a neutral position at the top. So those are good improvements. I like what you've achieved there. However, there's a few things going on here that we need to have a look at in your swing, Jimmy, just in terms of the way that you're setting up to the ball and taking the club away. There's quite a sort of steep and choppy action into the ball. If I'll take the old swing out of the equation now. We'll just have a look at what you're doing here. Now, I'm assuming that you're aiming roughly in this kind of direction here with this shot. Now I can certainly see that your shoulders are open, your forearms look open, your hips are aiming to the left, and your knees very definitely are aiming to the left. Now all of those things are going to make it very difficult for you to make a strong turn off the ball and a nice powerful backswing. So instead of that, what we'll find is you're going to lift the club to the top of the backswing. Now if I just draw a line up your club shaft here and take this club up to the top of the swing, what you're going to see is that club comes up away outside that line and gets very steep in the backswing. So the hand's very much out in front of the body at this point here, and not a lot of turn in the hips, not a lot of turn in the shoulders there. It's very much a sort of arm oriented action, and that plane of the left arm there at the top is quite steep, and the hand's just too much up in front of you, and the body just hasn't done enough. So from this position here at the top, it's very difficult for that club to track down in a powerful manner, and what's going to happen is you're just going to tend to bring the club down in a steep, over the top kind of manner, rather than this kind of more underneath kind of release that we would be looking for to give you a bit more power, a bit more distance. So just to sort of reprise what I'm saying there. Now this shaft angle address is what we call the plane line. So ideally you want to swing the club back on this line and have it parallel to that line at the top, and then as you come down in the downswing, the club will drop back down onto this line and track into the golf ball on this line. That will give you the most shallow and powerful approach to the golf ball that you can have. So when the shaft starts coming down above and too steep in the downswing, it's going to make the impact too choppy and not as powerful as we'd like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring in a couple of other swings just to show you a few things I want you to try and work on. nice swing here of McDowell with an iron down the line, and he does some of the things which I'm talking about very, very nicely. Now this is the 14th at Wentworth, and he's aiming somewhere around here, middle of the green, and you can see that he's got all his major joints here aiming to the right of that line. His hips, his forearms and his shoulders, all aiming to the right of the target, and what that means is that Graham's able to make a very strong turn in his backswing. And if I draw that same line up Graham McDowell's shaft, you're going to see that that shaft tracks immediately under that line. You can see the difference in that takeaway between yourself and McDowell there. His club's going round the body, yours is going up in front of the body. So it's quite a difference. And you'll also see the difference in the look of the body. You can see how much his hips have turned at this point in his backswing, whereas your hips look very much still square on, Jimmy. That's predominantly a product of your setup rather than the way you're moving off the ball. Because if your hips are open at address, it's very difficult to turn off the ball, and you'll find that you will be forced into just lifting the arms to the top. That's why getting these hips aiming to the right of the target is very, very advisable at address, because it allows that club to work around the body in this kind of manner. And what you're going to see here at the halfway back point is how much Graham's hands are towards the back of his body, how much his left arm is across his chest, whereas with you here your hands are up in front of the body and the left arm's out in front of the chest, Jimmy. So really the feeling for you is working that left arm across the chest so you can get the hands more behind you, more behind the body at the top of the swing. And you can see this sort of different look at the top of the backswings there, from yourself to Graham. This action very much going to be steep and kind of left to right ball flight. This action is going to be able to come down much more powerfully and hit the ball stronger and with a draw. And you can definitely see a very, very different look with the hips and the left arm position there between you and McDowell, Jimmy. So just taking that back, it's about getting these major joints aligned slightly to the right of the target to give yourself a chance to get that left arm working across the chest and get those hips turning. That's the key thing I want you to take away from this lesson, really, Jimmy, is just get those hips aiming to the right and the shoulders aiming to the right at address, and really turning the hips off the ball and getting that left arm working across the chest. You want to feel that, rather than that left arm coming immediately away from the body, you want to feel that the left tricep is going to stay on the chest. You're going to feel that pressure. If you trap something underneath McDowell's tricep there, he wouldn't drop it. Whereas with you here, if you had a head cover under your left arm there, Jimmy, you'd drop that in your takeaway. So it's maintaining that pressure of that tricep on the chest during the backswing. And that's going to get you your hands much more across the body in the backswing. I just want to show you a couple of other setup things, Jimmy, which I think will help you as well with regard to making a better turn off the ball. Okay, now I've just got McDowell again here from face on. I just want to show you a couple of other things I want you to look for. So we've already said get the joints aiming to the right of the target. You also want to get the joints set so that the right side of the body is set slightly below the left. And you can see here that his right hip is below his left hip, his right elbow is below his left elbow, and his right shoulder is below his left shoulder. That again really helps you wind the club away in the backswing. It helps you make a good turn, so you want to look for that. And the most important thing is this right hip. You want to make sure that that is nicely forward and nicely inside that right heel. If you look here, you see his left hip is out over his left toe and his right heel is out inside of his right heel. That's very, very important, because that really allows the hips to turn freely in the backswing. A lot of times I see the right hip back over the right heel in this kind of position, and what that means is it's very difficult for the hips to turn, and so that just means that the arms just lift to the top of the backswing all the more. We really want to get that body turning so the arms go across the chest on a more shallow plane, more around the body, and that will make you more powerful in the downswing. So just to summarise that for you, Jimmy, quite a simple thing I want you to just really work on. It's just that setup position for you. So it's getting these joints, number one, aiming to the right of the target, get the right side set below the left, and get that right hip nicely forward inside that right heel. If you can get those things happening in your setup, then you're going to be in good shape to improve the look of this backswing. And then I just want you to feel like you're going to turn off the ball and keep that left arm, that left tricep on the chest, so that the hands go more around the body. If you can put those things together, Jimmy, it's going to make a big difference to the look of your backswing. It's going to give you a lot more power coming down, and will get you into a position where that club shaft halfway down, rather than being in this position here where it's quite out in front of the body and quite steep, I'd like to see the hands around about here in the middle of the chest and the club shaft around about there, so it feels like the club's going to be coming more from behind you, and that's going to allow you to really fire the body through impact, whereas at the moment the body can't really work through impact because the club's so much out in front of you. So you just have to fling the arms through the impact zone, the body really very static through impact there. You've got no choice. You won't be able to work the body from where that club's coming from. But if we can get that club down on a flatter plane, you'll be able to work the body much harder through impact, Jimmy, and pick up a lot of extra yardage. So I hope that is nice and clear and straightforward for you to try and implement, Jimmy. If you have any problems, drop me a line, but I look forward to hearing about your progress and hopefully seeing some more videos from you soon. And hopefully in the next video it'll be a non-cagoule day. Good luck, Jimmy, with that, and look forward to seeing some more swings from you soon. Cheers.